If you are just now joining us, this takes place during the period in which Bruce Wayne has amnesia and Jim Gordon is the acting Batman. Grayson came back to Gotham to find a massive plot that led back to one person named Mother. She dealt in human trafficking and she can create and train whatever you desire in a person, from a wife to a soldier. Somehow Batman got involved with Mother during Dick Grayson's first year as Robin several years ago, and now Mother has returned with a message from Bruce telling the Bat family that he had hoped they would never find this out. Involved in this story is primarily Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, Harper Row, and Cassandra Cain. Grayson, Harper, and Cassandra went to Prague where Dick learned the horrible truth. Batman went to Mother for a Robin. She wouldn't give the name out. Then Cassandra ran off, leaving Harper worried about her new friend, and Grayson's trail on Mother went cold. Back with Tim and Jason, they've been following their own trail of black market dealings that leads them to the island of Santa Prisca, and a group going by the name of the Order of St. Dumas. Just as they get there though, they find a massive castle set on the island, and they are attacked by Bane of all people. Jason is happy for a rematch, but Bane grabs Jason by his red hood and smashes the mask. As he goes in to kill Jason, Tim pulls out one of Jason's guns on Bane, telling him to stop, and Jason groggily states, "I had this under control." They all agree on an iffy truce, because while Bane was gone, whoever the Order of St. Dumas is took in his soldiers, and Jason and Tim also need their answers. Meanwhile, over in Prague, Grayson and Harper decide to start crunching some numbers, and they decide to try and pick up another trail on Mother. But several years ago, during Dick Grayson's first year as Robin, Bruce Wayne was running around Prague at night. He arranged a meeting with Mother, but once he got to the meeting, she outright called him Batman. He tried to deny it, but she explained that the little piece of information she gave to Bruce Wayne somehow got leaked, and Batman's right-hand sidekick, Robin, showed up on that site. He continues to play off the idea that he wanted a wife as Bruce Wayne, but Mother isn't buying it, and she begins to swing at him and tells him that she knows exactly what he's after: a better Robin. Bruce broke her staff and then he made a break for the doorway. But back in the present day, Jason, Tim, and Bane all break into the castle, and once inside, Bane realizes that all of the soldiers that make up the Order of St. Dumas are actually his old army. They converted his people. Things get even worse once the announcements start going off that there are intruders. Then a man in a red cloak wielding a flaming sword walks over to them. "I am his angel of death. I am Azrael. Knowing what happens next is your choice. You came to this place seeking death. Consider it found." But it's Bane who isn't playing games anymore as he exclaims, "You angel of death know nothing of the word. They prayed to Bane." And then he leaped in to fight Azrael. While they begin fighting, Jason and Tim find themselves in a battle with the followers. They aren't doing too bad, but Azrael manages to cut Bane's venom supply, and then he places his hand on Bane's forehead, showing him the light. Tim and Jason see Bane go motionless, and they wonder what's going on, but Jason thinks that they should do something while they can. Tim has to remind him though, Bane came for that fight. They came here for information, so it's time for them to go. And as they run off, Bane begins to stand up, stating that he was wrong. He sees now. Using their skills, Tim and Jason get deeper and deeper into the facility until they reach the mainframe computer. The followers of St. Dumas begin crashing through the windows, and Tim tells Jason to start the hack since he's almost out of bullets. He shouts out orders and Jason tries to figure it all out. Luckily, Tim is an expert martial artist, and he drops each of the followers until Jason has hacked the systems, revealing that Azrael is actually a man named Jean-Paul Valley. He's one of Mother's children. He has no history. Meanwhile, several years ago, when Dick Grayson first became Robin, Bruce returns to the Prague Batcave injured from his meeting with Mother, and he demands that Robin take his mask off. If he's going to make simple mistakes like this, he can't be Robin. He's going to get himself killed. Robin freaks out on Bruce. He isn't his son or his sidekick. He is his partner. He put this mask on himself, and if Bruce won't admit that Robin is his partner, maybe they should be done. Back in the present, Azrael follows Tim and Jason into the room, and he asks, why are they here if Gotham's Dark Knight is dead? Does the city have a new father with no place for the sons? And then he begins to swing his flaming sword at Tim and Jason. Jason gets dropped right away, and Tim jumps back in to continue fighting. He tries to snap Azrael out of it. He isn't a tool for Mother to use. Tim tells him that his real name is Jean-Paul Valley, and he's being played. But even once his mask is knocked off, Jean-Paul knows his purpose, and he smacks Tim in the face, allowing him to see the light and his purpose. He can gaze and know all. Jason runs up to Jean-Paul, grabbing his sword and knocking him down to save Tim. Jason then grabs Tim and he jumps out the window. Meanwhile, over in Prague, Harper and Grayson are following their trail trying to find Mother, and they eventually swim onto the shores of Mudge Island, British Columbia, where they are welcomed by a woman who claims to know everything about Harper Row. They walk in and the woman explains that she is Mother's sculptor. She shows them that she is a telepath and that she can read minds. But since Grayson is a secret agent, she can't read him. He has anti-mind reading technology in his head. Then she further explains, Mother needs to be stopped, and Grayson needs to be the one to stop her. After his stun at the ballet, they have a chance, but eventually she'll vanish until she chooses to resurface again. Her job as the sculptor is to go into the children's minds and shape them like clay. But Mother has taken all of the children, and she's going to be destroying any trail of her, including the children. The sculptor can't have any of those children dying, so she wants to enter Grayson's mind and show him what happened and where the kids are, and where he can find Mother. Grayson doesn't trust her in there. With the anti-telepath technology, she could end up frying both their brains, so Harper ends up volunteering. The sculptor walks over and enters Harper's mind to show her Cassandra Cain's history. Cassandra is Orphan, otherwise known as David's daughter, the one that he had in secret. Mother was using new technology like the Scarecrow's fear gas to make her soldiers, but David wanted to show her that the old ways were the best ways. So he forbade his daughter from even talking, hoping to rewire her brain to understand body language and movement instead of words. Then he trained her over and over. When that wasn't working, he wanted Cassandra to have no regard for human life, and he slaughtered innocents in front of her over and over, until eventually she was unbeatable and ruthless. So once David was happy with his creation, he presented it to Mother. But she wanted nothing to do with Cassandra, and she was appalled that David would train Cassandra in secret. She told David that he could keep his pet, but to never bring her to Mother again. Cassandra did become an assassin in her own right, but unlike the other assassin children, she wasn't happy with what she did, and as she cut a woman's throat, there were tears in her eyes. Then the sculptor brought Harper to one of the most shocking moments, the meeting of Mother and Batman, the time when he was to learn who the heir was. Grayson freaked out, trying to get Harper out of it, and he pulled her out, telling her that this was above her pay grade. He almost injured her and the sculptor because he was being so rash about it. Then he demanded that the sculptor meld with him, forget all of his anti-mind reading technology. He needs to know what Batman was doing with Mother. He then forces his way into the sculptor's head to get his answers. He falls into a memory about David being one of Mother's children, and the sculptor being trapped with him as one of Mother's special children. She would use David to kill the parents of a child, and then the sculptor would scrub the child's mind of anything not needed. It was all a part of Mother's plan, to mold children into her weapons and sell them off. But the ones that weren't worthy, they were to be discarded. The sculptor decided that she can't stand by while Mother kills off all of the children and starts over. So she taps into Grayson's brain and gives him everything to find Mother if he moves fast enough. Then she walks him into the deeper recesses of the memories to show him what Batman was doing. She brings Dick to the moment that Batman showed up at Mother's headquarters asking for a new heir, a new Robin. And he explained to Mother that he had been blind to Dick's mistakes, his shortcomings as a sidekick. Grayson looked on in shock while Batman agreed to whatever Mother wanted, and he told her that he wanted to be there at the birth of his new Robin because he felt that he was too passive with Dick Grayson, and that was the problem. Grayson was stunned, stating that he couldn't believe that this was Batman. He wouldn't say this about Dick. Mother then asked, "Are you ready to kill for me, Bruce?" And Batman replied, "Yes." It was too much for Grayson, and he grabbed the sculptor, telling her it was a lie, but she revealed the truth. Batman betrayed him, and that's Mother's influence. Grayson woke up suddenly, and the sculptor told him that he and Harper now had everything that they needed to save Cassandra and the other children. Then the entire building vanished. It was all a psychic trick, and the sculptor was gone. Grayson put on his diving gear and he told Harper to come on. The sculptor wants them to stop Mother from killing all of the children, and they might be too late already. Deep down in the caves where the children are being kept, though, Grayson was right. All of the children have been slaughtered by a rather upset-looking Cassandra Cain. This story is getting deeper and deeper as we discover Batman's hidden history with the Robins. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far, and I'm sorry to state, due to the movie coming out next week, we'll be back in 2 weeks with the next part of this. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @Comicstorian and Instagram @Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here.